Welcome to the Credit Management Additions demonstration. In the first part of the demonstration, I will show you how you can set up NAV to put orders on hold if the customer has gone over their credit limit or if they have an overdue balance. In the second half of the demo, I will show you the development we've done to the Credit Management Additions to assist the credit controller in the chasing of those debts, ensuring that payment comes in on time, and recording of those promised payment dates. Okay, if we go into Credit Management Setup, here you can see I want to hold any orders if a customer goes over that credit limit or if they've got an overdue balance. I've also ticked the Release Doc on Credit Release button. What this will do is when somebody goes in and releases that order from credit held, it also releases the sales order to make it available for the warehouse to go and pick, pack and ship the goods out of the building. Okay, I also need to set up the system of who is going to actually release these orders. So you can see here I've set up Joy Hambridge to release £1 million, so really there's no set limit for her to go and release the orders. If I go and have a look at the customer card, there are some extra features where you can specify whether you might want to exclude a certain customer from credit held, for example. So here we've got an overdue credit grace period. So once the invoice becomes due and the customer places an order, they'll appear in the credit held screen immediately. If I wanted to perhaps give them a 5-day grace period, I can put 5 days in there. I can also exclude them from credit hold, so it might be one of my major customers, it might be somebody I never want to go on hold, so I can put a tick in that box there. If I also want to exclude them from overdue hold, I can put a tick in there. And if I want to hold all of their documents, so if I want to see every order going through the NAV system, I can hold all of those. We'll come to this part in the second part of the demo. Okay, if I go in as another user, so I'm logged here as TM NAV Support JH, and I put a sales order on. So I've got a warning they're over their credit limit. And I put a bike on order, it's telling me I haven't got enough stock and they've gone over their credit limit. If I try to release it, it will tell me the order has gone on hold. So the status is amended to credit held, and it will give me a reason as to why. So at the moment I know that's now sitting in Joy Hambridge's credit held screen to go and be reviewed to either release or not. So no goods can get picked, no goods can get shipped out of the building until that order has been released. Okay, so if I now go back in as Joy Hambridge and look at the credit held list, you'll see the order there. What I can do is I can have a look at the statistics, so I can see a total of that order. I can go onto the actual order, so going on to card will take me back to that order that was just put on the system. And over towards the right here I've got some fact boxes that tell me the status of the customer account. I know this is a good account and they are going to pay, so I can release that document. I can go and view any released documents in the system, and I can look at any held that are queuing. Okay, so that's the first half of the demonstration. The enhanced feature we've created is a credit control screen to assist the credit controller chasing their debts. So if we just go back to the customer card and have a look at those extra 2 fields. So what we've done is we've put in a credit controller. So you can set up as many credit controllers as you require, and you can assign those to your customers. And you can put in a credit control contact. So we can see that in our credit control screen when we're chasing. So if we're going to have a look at the credit control screen, in here I can assign me as the credit controller to just see my accounts. So we can see Matthew Charles that we assigned there to the Canon Group just, or I can see all of the accounts. I can show amounts in local currency, so if I do have an account that's in a different currency, I can see that aging. So at the moment that's US dollars, that's our sterling equivalent, and that is our US dollars. But if I click on that, that will show me the sterling equivalent of that balance. Okay, so in this screen I've got my account number, name, my contact phone number, email, their payment terms, the currency, balance local currency, their credit limit. So I could go and export this out to Excel if I'm putting in my credit limits into NAV and see if the customer's gone over their limit or due to go over their limit. I might have to go and get some more insurance for them. Got my credit controller assigned there. To-dos and overdue to-dos we'll come back and have a look at. And then in here we've got all the aging of that debt. So I can sort all my balances in here and go and see what's currently sitting in 120 days, 120 and so on by clicking on there. We can also drill down on these balances so we can see what makes up those amounts. So if we want to go and do some chasing, because I've got quite a lot there in 90 days, if I go and make phone call, this will bring up all his ledger entries, and I'm going to say he's paying those 2 invoices there. So if I highlight those, select them, what you'll notice as I select lines, it does increase that balance, so it helps credit controller saying how much it is that he owes. So he said he will pay those first 2 there. Okay, so paying 6th of April. And what I can do with those is update the lines, put in his promised payment date, and I can give it a credit management status code. So you can set up as many of these as you like, and you can assign them to your calls. And is he paying the full amount? So if he's only part paying, you can amend that promised payment amount there, but he's promised to pay the whole lot. So if I select OK on that, that now updates my ledger entries to say that he's promised to pay, and that's the actual payment date, and that's the amount that's been promised. What that has done in the background has created a to-do. So if I go into another screen, we have credit control to-dos. So this will keep updating as soon as you put in your promised payment dates. It will say it's due on this particular date. So if he hasn't paid when you come in to log in, you've allocated your cash, go and have a look at your to-dos and see if anything's in there that hasn't been allocated. So what will happen when he pays is it will remove the to-do from your list. So say he pays a day earlier. Okay. Post that through. That's now gone through the system. So if I look now at my to-dos, the to-do is still there, but it's now flagged as closed. So what we can actually do is make sure that we've got a filter on there to say yes and create that as a save view on your home screen. Okay, so we can see how many to-dos we've got open. Okay, if we go back into our credit control screen, so if we can't get hold of a customer, so if I have a look at who I want to perhaps chase next, so let's have a look at those. So I can make a phone call. If you have got your phone system linked to your PC, you can actually call and that will call the number set in the system. And the customer isn't actually available, so what I will do is I'll select the lines, and because he's not available, I create a next interaction date. So I'll call him, he's on holiday, he's not back to the 5th. So I'll go in there and I'll update the lines. But because he's not paying, I'll take that out. He's not got no promised payment date. But I put that as a callback and OK that. Whilst we're in this screen, you can see that there's the aging of his debt there as well. That helps us see what's his aging to quickly tell him as well whilst we're on the phone. Okay, that. And what we'll see now is we've got our credit control to do open. So you can see I've got to call somebody back on the 5th. And then I can go back into my credit control screen and I can go and do my chasing. So in here, this is really useful for not only the credit controller but also the credit manager. They can see how many to-dos people have got. Are there any overdue to-dos? So again, we can sort all those columns within this screen.